expect this move, it looks like the natural move, but that doesn't really work. So black plays here, and white has to connect. And the problem is that now black got sente, whereas if white plays here, now black has to choose whether he's going to help the B stone or connect at A. He can't get both. For instance, if he connects at A, then that Atari disconnects and or just disconnects, and white is sente now. So, and then if he goes here, now he can cut. So that would have been the better move for white. Um, so now these are about to be cut off somehow. This A group, um, and black could just connect under, but he keeps fighting. This is a very strong cut. White has to save his cutting stone. Black plays here, which is, peeping at this cut, but more importantly, it's preparing the ladder, right? The ladder at A. Yeah, exactly. And so white would like to Hane at A and kill the two stones, but he can't, right? Because it's just a ladder. So um, white turns here to put pressure on black stones and break the ladder. Let me just show this really quick. So if he Hanes here, it looks like he's capturing two stones, but black can Atari twice from that direction and then turn this ladder. So that's no good. But uh, once white has prepared, he can play here at A, right? So black has to keep his cutting stone strong. This fight's kind of complicated, right? I've reviewed this game maybe like 4 times now in the last couple of years, and finally starting to make a little more sense. Um, so let's see, where was White's next move? White's next move is pretty surprising, actually. This whole thing is about to be behind enemy lines, especially if you consider that Black has like Sente moves against the right side. It's not hard to imagine this marked group getting surrounded. So it needs to get out, but it's just kind of cool how he does it. He plays this solid extension here. It's kind of strange, right? It seems slow, but it's really, really solid. And I'll show an idea in a second of why I think he plays it that way. Um, Now this A group is starting to get weaker, right? But Black thinks he has a Miai of coming out into the center or living, so he actually doesn't worry about that for right now. He puts a lot of pressure on these three stones. Um, and so now what's the proper shape to help these three stones? K7, K8, J7. Um, you are correct with K8. K8 is the move. So um, sometimes J7 is the only move. But this should generally be your second choice when this one doesn't work. For some reason, you can't play this one, then you should play, the slower, uglier move. But when you can get away with this jump, which white can in this case, then the jump is better. Black comes out with these stones, and now white seals black in, which works nicely with this solid move that he played. Um, and black has to live in the corner. Now let me change something. Let me go back to here. Assuming white jumps, which I think is probably what I would play if I wasn't paying really, really close attention. It just seems like the normal move, right? But what's the problem? Okay, so first, this is a forcing move. Um, yeah, exactly. That would be like the blitz move, right? Just get your group out. But that's a forcing move. And now what happens with this cut? Normally, with in this shape, white can just capture black, because there's nowhere for black to go and gain liberties. But black got the A stone, right? So that could be a problem. So that's why this move, it really shows a lot of basically awareness on White's part. He knows about the Aji on the right. He knows that he needs to keep it really solid in that area. So that is good. Um, let's see, where next? So after Black lives there, White comes back and fixes these stones up. And so let's just take a look now. The corner is alive for now, so no worries there. Um, White's A group is good for now, and I think we can call it the same thing as the B group. That's like one group. Um, A is still running, B is still running. C, Black is not worried about at the moment because he has the cut at A, and it's not easy for White to connect at A. We'll see why in a second. So Black decides to help these guys in the center, and he jumps out. And I guess I said this group was okay, but actually this entire A thing isn't alive yet, right? So Black is really, he's looking at almost 3 week groups here. And now White plays this, and Black, of course, has something prepared here. Where should Black play? There's a nice little squeeze here. E5? You want to kill them all? Unfortunately, I don't think these stones here have enough liberties to try something like that. Um, if I tell you it's a squeeze, it should be easier, right? How to squeeze White here? White doesn't have a lot of liberties either. Um, okay, I'll just show you the move then. White play or Black plays here, and now what comes next is just forced, right? White has to try to come out. Um, Black keeps the liberties short here, and he can't connect, right? I can't connect here because then the 4 stones will just die in a ladder. Um, but Black can squeeze, so he's connecting everything, and White is in a dumpling shape. This is why Black wasn't too concerned um, with this area earlier, and now Black just jumps out. And these stones are still really ugly, so White needs to play the Tiger's Mouth Vital Point here in Sente also. Black has to defend. Yeah, and White defends. Um, so it's still a running battle that's going on, right? And Black peeps here, guaranteed Sente. Also, this exchange helps black in some way. This stone might be useful, whereas white having the A stone does not really help him. And so the commentary was that Shusaku handled this opening or this fight perfectly up to here. You know, the fight has been essentially perfect from both sides, um, which is kind of like a startling just contrast with the moves we saw earlier, right? You know, we saw this move, we saw this attach, and you know all the pushing, and we saw this move, and then once it turned into a fight, he was playing perfectly. But now he plays here, which turned out to be an overplay. Um, and this is actually really interesting. This is the first, I think, good example that you'll be able to see about just how good their reading is. Obviously, black is trying to attack this whole A group, right? And it looks really weak. But the reason this turns out to be an overplay is, let's see. So first, white plays an outside move, trying to see how black is going to respond. Black has to respond strongly here because if he responds with something like this or something like that, that leaves a liberty weakness on the Q9 stone, right? So then stuff like this just becomes way too easy for white to settle. So he has to play it solid. And now white goes away and plays here, which is a shape point, right? It's like the corner of like this little table shape. And this is really painful for black. And now the problem is, can black kill white? And the problem is he can't. First, he has to reinforce here, that's what he plays in the game. White plays here. Black continues to attack. And at this point, black realizes that he can't kill this white group, which I'm assuming, where should we go back here? White had to know that when he played here, right? And so black realizes he can't kill white, so he comes back to deal with this situation over here. But let me show you the sequence, the reading. So first things first, if black wants to kill, he has to defend here, right? Otherwise, white can just push. If black doesn't want to give up the one stone, then he can just cut, and now there's too many problems, right? White will live. So black has to defend here first. Now white can hane, and white can play here. And this shape is not two eyes, right? But the problem is black is weak in the corner too. So like let's say black keeps trying to kill white. This is the tesserae that white has prepared. So what's going to happen here? If black connects, then it's ko for the whole corner. That's too much, right? That's probably too much. So black can't really do that, but can't he just capture this? He can just capture that stone, and black is alive easily. But take a look at this. This is really cool, actually. White's plan is to cut. Do you see what's happening yet? White can't kill those stones.